We are live. Welcome, everyone to High Vibrational Events Presents. My name is Meagan Michael. I am a seer, a seeker, a visionary, and a medium. And I am joined this evening by my very special guest. I am totally honored, the Diva of Divination, Manassa.
Hello.
On YouTube. I'm so glad you're here. So welcome.
That's right. Let's thank Aiden because that's how we met each other.
Exactly. Hi, Aiden. I love Aiden. He's awesome, and he created our beautiful promo.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he made us two of them. I didn't show you the other one. Let me grab that. I think that's
all right.
Kimmy, are you here? Let me see, because whoever's here, if you're drawn to share on Facebook, please do. Kimberly, morning, ladies. Hope you are really well. Well, welcome, Kimberly. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
See, morning. Are you in Australia? I'm just wondering.
That's true because it's late in England.
Right. It's 5 or 6 hours. And
6 hours for me, 5 for you.
Okay. I love it. And Justin's mom, Sahita. Welcome, Sahita. Who's saying, hi, Justin. Justin. No, not Justin. Aiden. I'll be all right. All righty. I'm excited. What could I say? All right. So let me just grab this really fast and show you, because it's really super cute. He made two. He's like, you can use whichever one you want. So I used the one that I was resonating with more, but the other one's so cute. You have to see it. He's so talented. All right. You know what, Aiden? Are you here? Can you just send me the other one with the crowns? If you're here, my dear. So I'm looking for it. Oh, wait, I think I found it. No, I did not find it. All right. Well, instead of all this silence and ignoring my guest. Yeah, Aiden, if you're here and you're drawn to share the other one, it's actually in our chat. That's what I was doing, scrolling through the Facebook chat. It's very cute too. It is. All right. So today we are going to be having a conversation with you guys about antiquated beliefs. Antiquated beliefs. And hi, Chevy. That's one of my cats. He's very vocal. I definitely want to share this out on Facebook. Hi, Linda. Welcome. Jazz, hello. Welcome. First time here.
Welcome.
Glenna Edwards. Yes, Australia for Kimberly. Excellent. By the way, we have Manassa's YouTube channel link down in the comment. Or if you're on Facebook, it's up there. If you're on YouTube, it's down there. Yeah, it's like so I invite you to like and subscribe to both of our channels. Manassa is amazing. This is our first time working together, and I'm very excited.
Yes, but not our last.
Amen. Oh, wait, I think he's showing it to me. Let me see. There it is. Okay, one second. I'll screen share for a moment so you can see. All right. And Chrome, Facebook, voila. And there it is.
Oh my goodness, that I love it. Okay, Aiden, please send that to me.
Isn't that adorable? I love it. I went for the more like straight-laced one, whatever. But honestly, this is so freaking cute. I love it.
It is. It's funny. Aiden is a film student, and my daughter graduated from film school.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize. It doesn't surprise me in the least. He's so talented. Yes. But your daughter graduated from film school.
Wow. Yeah, she's a writer and a producer. She's all the things, but writing is her deal.
Wow. That's very good. I'm in awe because I know like I want to write, but it's not like I talk more than I but yes. That can change though.
That's right. You can learn to channel that. But yeah, every report card I got in elementary school, it's like, I wasn't Manassa then. I was Villa. Villa loves to talk in class. Yes, I do. Plus, I always tell my mom I was an only child. So when I got around all those kids, I was ecstatic.
Wow. So you liked school? Wow. No, I mean, an empath, because a lot of empaths, I was very good at it, but I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like all the energy from it. Hi, Kimmy. Thank you for sharing it out. Oh, I was hoping you would. Thank you. But that's awesome. So I'm sure you were like a straight A student and all that in school too.
Sometimes.
Oh, my goodness gracious. You guys, you're the best. I love you, Kimmy. Thank you for sharing. So he does amazing work, Aiden. I know that is just so cute. Heidi to Universe. She goes, nice work. Aiden Reads Tarot. And I do love the new name of your channel, Aiden, with Aiden Reads Tarot.
That's right, because first it was Learns, but now you got it. Once you got it, he got some great people together. Now you got to practice it. Do it.
Doing it. Beautiful. And Linda Ernest says, good evening, you two beautiful souls. So glad to be in this group. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, we're both very fortunate as our audiences are growing. And I know that I have an amazing group of friends, predominantly on Facebook, but also now growing on YouTube as well. And I'm just so grateful when I go live, and like when you do, and then your friends show up, you know, and they tell their friends. And it just feels like I was saying on my last live stream, I couldn't do what I love to do if you guys weren't here.
That's right. That's right. I say that often. I have a mornings with Manassa where I do an inspirational reading and a tarot card. And I'd say, thank you for letting me do what I love to do and showing up.
Exactly. Exactly. Well said, and same message. I love that.
Very true. Very true.
Kimberly says, I was an A in English but an F in math.
That's right. Kimberly and I are from the same tribe. History, English, all those things. Math, till this day, my belief is I get it. Math through 1st through 6th grade, I needed that math.
Right.
But everything after that, and nowadays, I'll never forget my teacher when calculators came out, and I guess in the late 70s or whatever, and they were gigantic and huge. And one of my friends in school told the math teacher, I don't need this. Now I got the calculator. Heck, well, you're not going to be able to carry a calculator around with you. Well, here's my calculator. Okay?
Oh my God, I love that. I didn't love math. I only had one really great math teacher in my life that was in honors math. I don't know how I managed that one, but that was in 7th grade. And Mr. Landman, I remember his name. And it was pre-algebra and in New York. And he was a wonderful teacher. And I was actually really interested. If I would have had him forever as my teacher, my math teacher, I would have continued, I think, to enjoy math. But other than that, it was just like, all right, I can get by here,
Indeed. I say math is a 4-letter word, okay?
I love that. Oh my God, I love that. Kimberly is laughing, and Linda says, home is where your heart lies with soul friends. In my world, my family are my chosen family.
Indeed. I just want to take a minute to just really give you kudos. I saw you shared your story about your transformation, and to just really honor that you tell the story of how you had to basically escape from where you were. And then during the escape, the escape car broke down, but you kept going. You didn't let that stop you, because many people would have been like, oh, shoot. And today, I want to honor the presence and the light that you are. So many people stay in a safe space, a harmful space, but safe space, a toxic space, but a safe space. But you made a different choice, and people's lives are changed from that day to today because you didn't just think about it and dream about it and wish about it. You were about it.
Wow.
And I was very touched and inspired, and I just want to honor you. I know how hard that is. I was also in a toxic relationship, and I'm telling you, I didn't have to leave everybody. You had to you were able to reconnect with your mom, which is a beautiful part of that story, but you walked away like, and I honor you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm very touched. I'm like speechless. I'll drink some more tea. Yeah. I did stay where I was for 8 years. So it's not like I didn't think about it before then. But I'd also been married a few times, and I chose one toxic relationship after another. But that's patterns that many of us do until we don't anymore. Or until we, and that was, for me, I was either going to die. There was no doubt about it. This person wanted me off the planet, and make it look like my fault,
Indeed.
So, but here I am,
Here I don't shining your light.
And I had to let go of all the any kind of anger or resentment for what I, because so after I escaped, just really fast, some of you already know this, but so after I escaped this, and I call it escape, but that's a fear-based thought, but that is what it felt
You
like.
escape. Sometimes the truth is the truth.
Well, in that case, I escaped. Yeah, I did. And yes, the car did break down in the parking lot, right in the driveway, and the person came home at that moment, but it didn't matter. I was like, can you just jump the car or something? We're out of here. Oh my God. But yeah. So then when I started my new life, I manifested stage 4 lymphoma right after that, because of all the years of that I stuffed it down. I didn't say, please. I did whatever I could to make it work, because it was, like you said, it was a toxic space, but it was a safe place. I knew it was a place I knew. We had 2 cars, we had a condo. It was, it was a thing. We had dogs and, cats. And so that was what I knew as, it wasn't a good home, but it was home. But yeah, started the whole life over again. And some of my old friends and some family, like my mom, but she's passed now, but I did reconnect with over. In fact, the friends that I reconnected with were not the friends that I had during all those years of toxicity. They were like my childhood best friends. And they reconnected with me, like my beautiful friend Beverly, who's an attorney, and we didn't speak for like 20 years, but we're still super close. We were best friends in like 3rd grade, and it's just interesting. It's really interesting to me how the people that, I feel like drawn to really share one more thing. Like she and one other old friend of mine had said that they were hurt because I didn't speak to them for so many years. I didn't think they would want to speak to me. I was in a dark place. I was a very smart little child, and my friends were all smart, and we were all had, and then I went into a party place, and so I thought they're not going to want anything to do with me. My life was just, kind of spitting out of control, but it was all right. I mean, here I am.
That's true. It's very interesting. I also had a friend that I went to junior high and high school with. Hadn't heard from her in years, and about, I don't even think it's been a year, her sister reached out to me through Messenger, because my friend, her name is Kara, she doesn't have a Facebook page. And then lo and behold, and she's the one who was like, oh my God, I love your podcast, and please keep doing that. And, just send me a text. I signed up for your oneness meditation. Just like, where were you all my life, right? Well, she came to me, and her and I are both in LGBTQ relationship, which is hilarious. We went to a very strict Christian religious school who never said gay, but look how we turned out anyway.
I love it. I love it. It's funny. I thought another name came to me for the, like straight talk, which I thought would be kind of funny, or not funny, but, interesting, kind of, what I'm talking about.
I know what I'm talking about.
But yes.
I think Linda Ernst, did you put her comment up? I think it's very.
I brought it back down, so I didn't want to interrupt you. I brought it down, bringing it back up.
Very loving.
We all are, you see, because we found you from the choices that you made to now. Thank you. So happy for your choices that lead to all of us discovering more with you in learning, loving, and fun. You bring so many. Namaste. Thank you.
Very true.
I'm very, very grateful for all of you. So, okay. So first of all, so this is what Spirit brought me, and they've been bringing it to me for 2 weeks, but that's specifically this morning they brought it to me, and I posted it first thing this morning, and then I was immediately made aware that we're to talk about this. And then of course I asked you and you said yes. So how people are like, you hear the term all the time, intelligent life, the search for intelligent life, or is there intelligent life out there on other planets, or intelligent. It felt wrong. And, as I evolved, and I feel like we're talking about, spiritual awakenings here, as I continue to evolve, things, phrases, words, the reality that doesn't sit with me anymore. And so things will just feel off. And so that phrase no longer just went in one ear and out the other. I think I even went to repeat it, and I'm like, that's not right. All life is intelligent. Mm-hmm. Life by its very nature is source energy, where it's all consciousness. All consciousness is intelligent. And so the conversation, interestingly, was on in my Facebook group. And I would love to talk about it here with you and see what you feel about this. So let me just throw it to you first, and if anybody else has a comment, please sure to let us know in the comments, and I will bring your comments up on screen. This is a discussion.
Well, I saw some of the comments in your group. And so intelligent life, let's talk about antiquated life, because yes, everything is intelligent. That someone said, except for humans, they kind of made a comment like humans are like violent, la, la, la. And in some ways, that's really the result of our intelligence. But so all things are intelligent. Lily and I, my daughter, were driving. She says, oh no, we're coming into the driveway. There's a lizard in the driveway. And so she wanted me to make sure I got it out of the way, right? Because she didn't want to run it over in the Volkswagen. So here, look at Aiden. He's just so sweet. So here I go. So now I get out of the car, and here's me and the lizard, right? I'm like, move. And I kept walking to it, move. And the lizard was intelligent enough to know that I'm not sure what this big thing is doing, but I'm going to get out of the way, right? That's intelligence.
Yes.
Right? I don't run towards, if I open the door and there's a Tyrannosaurus Rex right there, I'm not going to run out towards it. I'm going to shut the door. Not sure it would do much good, right? That is that intelligent life. So oftentimes that fight or flight is the base of our intelligence. And then we grow and evolve on that, right? Because we can't be in fight or flight for everything. Right? Open the fridge, right? You can't be in that place. But I liked what you had talked about, and here's my daughter on here. Humans are intelligent, but too many act heartlessly. Ms. Lily. But I think you had used the term when we had talked initially about antiquated thinking.
Yes.
And that is thinking, like you said, from our old way, from our old vibration. And so it was intelligent at its time. But as you grow and evolve, you've got to step into that new way of thinking. But oftentimes it's hard I think the most antiquated thinking is thinking that it's hard to recognize. Like for a long time, you and I were both in relationships. We lived in a condo. We had, I had a Mercedes, a Lincoln, a BMW. I had all those things. But I was afraid for my safety in those relationships. But I had read an article that said it is easy for a white woman to get married 2 or 3 or 4 times. But for a Black woman, if you're not married by the time you're 50, you'll never get married. Well, okay, right now, I should have just checked the source. So at 45, I'm still not married. So along comes this person who was not a good match for me, and over some drinks, if you don't drink, over some tea, see, we can talk about this combo, all the things that my guides did to get this person out of my life.
Wow.
But that antiquated thinking that said, I only am important if I get married. So like you said, I had a college degree, a master's degree at that time. I had taught at a community college. I had pastored. I had done all these things, but all that stuff didn't matter because why? An article told me that if I wasn't married by the time I was 50, I was not valuable. So at 48, I got married for the first time. And I got out of that marriage in 4 or 5 years, and probably.
Oh, that was okay. I'm sorry. I thought that was the one you're in now.
No,
okay.
Probably in 4 or 5 years, I probably should have gotten an annulment.
I understand.
But that antiquated thinking, again, because some men or mans said a woman only has value. Thank you, sweet Aiden. If you are married, if you do this, and then that's disseminated oftentimes in very insidious ways.
Mm-hmm.
That was, it's in the article, something that someone had written.
They said that. Did you ever hear that or use that in the past? They said.
Yeah,
they not ever questioning they, or somebody would say, exactly. They said, oh my God, they said that.
Exactly. I think one of the ways that spirituals, the sacred text of Christianity puts it is, you're in the world, but you're not of it.
Of it, right.
And so that worldly way of thinking that I'm defined by who I am on the outside, by how I act or what I do on the outside. So there are a lot of people like, now, part of me says, hopefully people don't get mad at me, but I could care less because not that I don't care about these people, but if they disappeared off the planet, I would be like the Kardashians. To me, they are the epitome of worldliness, of worldly thinking, of antiquated thinking. This is all about how I am on the outside and all the things that I have and all the ways, it's like, dag. Hey, how much plastics, if you want to change your face and you have the money to do that, that's fine. But what is the message that you're sending? And what is the message that told you that by changing your face so much or changing your body, you would be accepted? Again, that's that concept of my outside is who I am, but on the inside, what's going on? And that's, to me, intelligent life begins on the inside, begins on the connecting with the true. My intelligence is in here, the truth. I love Taylor Swift. My intelligence is from the divinity that is within me. And when I connect with that, then I'm able to transform. Intelligence is from the inside out. It's an inside job. I'll leave it at that. And we all have it. That's why animals don't get in trouble like we do. When there's years ago, my mother told me a story that how did Native Americans know when a hurricane and stuff was coming? Because all the animals, especially like in Florida, would come running out of the swamp, right? They weren't watching CNN or the Weather Channel, right? And like, that intelligence, that connection to nature, that oneness was like, y'all better get up out this swamp right now, okay, right? And so for me, intelligence is what we all are, because the source of creation, the one, the divine life is intelligence. And when we connect to that, just like in some ways like animals, even better, we turn within and then bring that treasure without.
That was awesome. Thank you for sharing. There's two things I want to say. One, that I also believe like trees and plants are intelligent as well.
Yes.
So I feel that everything is, I'm looking at outside of the building and I'm wondering, can the concrete be called intelligent life? But if the concrete is created as still consciousness, if everything is energy, then perhaps different, but
correct.
Right. And I also wanted to share, it's interesting what you said about that extremely limiting belief that being a woman of color wouldn't be married ever if she doesn't get married by 50. I'm just paraphrasing, but I had a different limiting belief. And you have all your amazing education. I did not go to college, but everybody in my family, they were like doctors and lawyers. I was born into a Jewish family that was kind of stereotypical in the way that they were educated, but I wasn't. I didn't enjoy school, and I wound up going to like beauty school and auto mechanics and stuff like that. But I've always been super intelligent, my IQ and all that other BS. But I felt less than. I thought, and they said, you'll never be anything without a college degree.
Correct.
And that's one of the reasons that I'm realizing and remembering now. That's one of the reasons I was embarrassed to reach out to my childhood friend Beverly, who graduated as a law lawyer from Oxford and stuff. And I thought, what is she going to say to have this? What are we going to talk about?
Of course.
Why would she even like me now? I didn't do anything with my life. I didn't become anything. And I don't believe that now, by the way. But I did have that extremely limiting belief. And I definitely, because I believed it was reflected back to me in my own birth family as well. So I feel like that's like the antiquated belief. Those come in many forms. And I also know that with the internet now and all these influencers, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, because I feel like I'm influencing to some degree people that in a positive, and it's always my intention to be positive. But anyway, so I'm saying that people don't need a college degree necessarily to make it in this world, to have, to be successful. And besides, what is successful? Does it mean you have to have like a fleet of cars, or does it mean that you're happy? I was just listening to Abraham. You listen to Abraham Hicks at all?
Yes, that's the very first books I started reading when I returned to New Age thought.
Me too. Oh my God.
Ask and it shall be given.
Yes, yes. Oh my God, they're going to be here in Orlando in December on the 3rd. And I absolutely want to go again. I saw them in Miami and I saw them in Orlando in like 2019. But I want to go. I'm only about an hour outside of Orlando. I'm going.
Okay.
Man. I will manifest this.
Indeed. I agree with you.
I got all excited about Abraham. I forgot what I was just talking about.
Wait, I know. I got all excited about it for you.
The antiquated belief. So,
right.
By the way, I want to say hi, Susan Morris. She is my amazing medium, really an amazing medium in Ireland. And it's late for you. And I'm really excited to see you. I just love
Indeed. Indeed. You know, and I think some antiquated beliefs are so ingrained.
Lady, by the way.
Thank you. So ingrained. And also, like, one of the things that leads to separation is the fact that I think you're different than me. So your skin is different, so therefore you're different, so I'm going to stab you, right? It's like, how do you make that connection? But it's the delusion, that antiquated belief, the delusion of separateness. But our religions teach us duality. God is out there, over there, right?
Thing over here, but they're external, right? It's like source energy is external.
And so it's that delusion of separateness. And so one of the things that I think that we don't realize, definitely that we don't realize, is that there are some of those things, that delusion of separateness is ingrained within us. So when we leave, like, people are like, I'm not religious anymore, I'm spiritual. Okay, but did you check those ingrained and antiquated beliefs that while you were in your religious world, nothing made you have to check those things? But when you come into a spiritual world, and so I'll give you 2 examples, an old example and a new example. So there is a new thought denomination called Unity.
Okay.
And so Unity follows Mildred and Charles Fillmore, and it came along with Ernest Holmes. So if you see like a Center for Spiritual Living or Church of Religious Science, not Scientology, Church of Religious Science, or a Unity Church, they are all about the oneness. Right? We are one with the divine, and we are emanations from the divine. And so Unity is in like Missouri.
Okay.
And so what they were doing in the 50s and 60s, they were having students come to learn. Okay. These are people that are about the oneness, about being led by the Spirit, about connected to source, but the Black students couldn't stay with them. Right. So one of the ladies, she's very famous, Dr. Johnny Coleman, may she rest in peace, called him out on it. It's like, how can you talk about oneness? How can you talk about that we are all one? And yet, right, because you're in the world, but you have to make sure that those antiquated beliefs of the delusion of separateness. And so she called him out on that. And eventually, slowly but surely, they had to make that change. So another way is that a lot of intelligent and spiritual people, especially here in the U.S., when the execution of George Floyd, that is, in my opinion, what it was. You know, say, well, he was trying to pass a counterfeit 20. Okay, even if that's true, I do know that in the United States, we don't execute people who counterfeit money.
No.
Right? So, okay, he should have been arrested if that's what happened.
Of course.
And so there's this beautiful lady named Achintia out of Hawaii. She honors the goddess Venus. And when that happened, she started posting all over her Instagram page about Black Lives Matter and we are all one. But a lot of her followers were like, we're spiritual and we don't talk about that. We're above that. And she was like, no, you can't be the light when there's darkness and walk away, because the darkness stays. You got to head towards the light. And then many of those people said, well, he was a criminal and he should listen, right? You started repeating that delusion, blame the victim, right? Many of us, just like you said, that toxic person who could not see the beauty, the graciousness, the joy that you represent, the love that you are. He's like, he wants you off the planet, right? Because that delusion of somehow he was better than you.
Yes.
She was better than you, right? So we have to remember that there are antiquated ways of thinking that are inside of us, and spirit will bring those up. So when my spiritual director says, is your first inclination to go to your spirituality, or as I would say, go back to this projects where I grew up, right? It's like, which way are you going? But antiquated beliefs are often so ingrained, you don't know it.
That's so true. As you're saying that, I'm fair. It's like religion itself, talking about antiquated belief, thousands and thousands of years of programming, and that many families or children are born into this heavy duty religious programming. And even if it's not like, I wasn't programmed heavily religious, I don't know how to say that. I wasn't I was born Jewish, but they called themselves Reformed Jews.
Okay.
And I believed in Christ anyway, but my mom said he was a nice guy. It was a very loose religion, and growing as I got older, I was always searching for something. So I checked out Buddhism. I studied Wicca. I finally found Christianity, born again Christianity, fundamentalist Christianity, when I was 35. And I walked in to this fabulous music and a great big church, and they're like, come as you are, and everybody's welcome. And well, that just, I was sold. I was sold on the energy of Jesus. I was sold on, I was thinking about this yesterday, because I was listening to contemporary Christian in the car. I have to take transportation to go to my doctor in like 45 minutes. And this woman's got this great music on. I love this song. I don't listen to it often anymore. And I remembered the feeling of sitting in church and worshiping, and she's singing and I'm singing the drive, and it's, like, I don't know whether it was third day or whatever, that kind of music. And so I bought into it. I had never felt accepted. I had never felt included. I always felt different. And here they are telling me that I don't have to wear a dress. I can come in my jeans and come to the church and everybody's accepted, right? And I thought, well, that feels really good. And I didn't realize that I was totally open to the programming. I grew up with astrology in my house. My mom studied astrology. I went up throwing away all my astrology books. No, worse. I sold them on eBay. And then I sent the woman her money back, and I lied. And I said they all got destroyed in a flood in my apartment, and I threw them in the dumpster because I didn't want to send those evil things to another person and contribute to their, going to hell.
I did the same thing. I try not to think of it often, but I had so many beautiful statues of Kuan Yin and Shiva, and I couldn't bring myself to just throw them in the trash. So I wrapped them up very beautifully. But yes,
thank you for relating to that. Thank you, because that was even books that my mom had given me, when I was, because they were hers and stuff. But that was what I believed at the time. That's what I believed at the time. And then, but what never resonated with me was things the pastor would say. And okay, no sex before marriage. Well, okay, I was already 35, and that was way over the past that. But you couldn't be gay either. And I'll tell you what happened. I had some people may be surprised, but maybe not. I had emailed the pastor, not realizing it's a 2,000 seat sanctuary. The pastor himself's not going to get this email, but I was feeling really connected when I first started, like you're on fire for the Lord, right? So I emailed the pastor and I said, thank you so much. I finally feel like I belong somewhere, because this gay and whatever else, right? Because I labeled myself back then. That was how I identified. I don't choose to identify with any label at this point. Even female doesn't really totally, because I'm much more than that. But anyway, I did identify as a lesbian, and I told them that, and they wrote me back telling me that they can help me by sending me to I don't know what they called it, a deprogramming ministry.
Conversion therapy.
I was like, I was mortified. Here I poured my soul out in an email to this charismatic pastor who years later, by the way, got deleted from the church because he was doing porn and pedophilia and whatever. And he was on TV and everything, but whatever. The best thing that came out of that is my relationship with Jesus, because I changed on the inside. I felt that connection with the Christ energy. So I stopped going to the church after I even brought my mother there and everything. But we both got saved. That's right. I had to be saved, that somebody else, has to save you. All those things. It took me years to deprogram myself from all the programming of only a short period of time. It was just a couple of years, but I really absorbed it all. It was like a small.
Gandhi said he loves Jesus but doesn't like his followers.
Who said that? Gandhi?
Gandhi, yes.
Oh.
And so, yes, I'm very much, I call him Master Teacher Jesus, and this Christ consciousness, which exceeds and precedes, the person of Jesus, that we had that Christ consciousness in Buddha, and we had that Christ consciousness in Shiva. And so, thank you. I am a yes, Johnny Coleman and Della Reese. Yes, my brother goes to Up Church, which is the church that was started by Della Reese, and I'm a New Age minister, so New Thought minister. Yes,
that's very cool.
But that's that. Yes, that. And one of the things my seminary professor told me was that most people in churches don't preach from the words of Jesus because they're too radical. Love, forgive, open your heart, dream big, believe big, walk in your faith. That doesn't control people. That's allowing you to be expansive and connected. Well, I don't want you to do that. I want you to keep coming here and be giving us your money and giving us your time for free, right? So I can't talk to you about this radical liberating message from this divine human who was able to, in a way, connect with his godness and then project that out. I got to come to you from the books that Paul wrote about being submitted and under the authority of. Yeah. And yes, let me tell you, see, there's sometimes I get that gospel music and I'll be up there, let Aretha Franklin sing something. Okay, but yes, when I hear Jesus, I think of Master Teacher Jesus, that high frequency, high vibe. Someone had I like what Linda Ernst said about us learning, that we're all from the past. We have to bring us to who we are. And we need to grow in our vibrations. That's what Master Teacher Jesus, that whole story, you can see how he evolved. And one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about is the healing of the Roman centurion. A Roman centurion came to Master Teacher Jesus and said, hey, my servant's sick. Can you heal him? And Jesus said, yeah, okay, good. I'll come to your house. He's like, no, I'm not worthy to have you in my house. But if you speak the word. Now, in American slavery, if your slave is sick, you're going to shoot him in the head like a horse, right? But why did this man who had a slave that he could have replaced so interested in getting his slave healed, right? Because in Roman times, your slaves were lovers with you, and that's how you connected with them. So here is a man presenting to Jesus a gay relationship, a same gender relationship, and Jesus not dumb. He knows how that gets down. And Jesus says, I will heal. I'll come to your house. But people don't want to read that context.
I never heard that story.
Yes. And
most of what I know from the Bible was preached to me on, and so I have not seen that.
And there's another very interesting story that anytime there was a woman who interacted with Master Teacher Jesus and they were like a prostitute, they're identified as that, right? Because of course they're a bad woman. Right? Because she got a business of her own. Let's start with that. But that's a whole different story.
Right?
But there's a woman who comes to meet Jesus. She interacts with him, and she's referred to as a bad woman. But she's not identified as a prostitute. And I've always thought, what was going on with this bad woman? Was she also not a conformist and maybe living with another woman, or wasn't dealing with the man, or maybe she loved them both? But again, Master Teacher Jesus was accepting of her. But all that stuff gets pushed under the rug because loving and accepting, that's not going to keep you coming back. But the truth is, it would, just like you said, that love, that acceptance, that high vibration, that when you sing and everyone comes in that energy of oneness and you get in that Christ consciousness, that would bring you back. But that fear, control, you either, what is it they said on the, what is that show, Touched by an Angel? That the angels, God's angels love, are a part of the power of love, where the angels that are not gave up and wanted the love of power. And that's the challenge. That's right. No prejudice, no judgment. We got to look deep within, because sometimes it's hiding. But yeah, that love and oneness. I have a friend who's been doing peace prayers, and I thought, okay, Spirit, give me a prayer. And I'm like, Spirit, hello, I'm a minister. I should be able to do this. What is going on? Nothing. And then, very in a sweet, sweet way, Spirit said, peace comes from oneness. It's separation that is the beginning of conflict.
Yes.
Right? The story of Cain and Abel. You're my relative, and I get in a fight with you, and I'm going to kill you. Right? Because I stopped seeing you as my family. I stopped seeing you as one with me. And again, that's the antiquated. I feel like I'm just going on and on, so you can stop me.
No, I'm fascinated. I think everybody else is too. And if they're,
I'll tell you one more thing. So one of the things, I grew up in Southern California.
Okay.
Right? So I am married to a gorgeous, beautiful woman who loves me. She loves my crazy family. We're talking about when her cray has been growing. Right? When she met me, cray was right there. Okay. And cray involves my family, my daughter, and my mom. And we would walk in Long Beach where we lived, and we would hold hands. We moved here to the South. Now, I consider myself a bold and bodacious African-American woman, or I'm a bold woman. I'm a bold human, okay? We were going to get married in April of 2020. Well, you know what happened in March of 2020. So we postponed it, but we got married in September of 2020. I wanted to get married outside on our front porch. So then I started talking about, no, let's do it in the house. And my daughter, who of course, Cancer, okay. Intuitive, she says, Mom, are you scared? And I was. Because I thought, one of these hicks drive up while we're getting married or whatever. And hicks, I know it's not a nice word, but that's where I was feeling.
I understand.
Because that had never been an issue. But here, there is a lot of hostility. But what is it really? It's the fear, the delusion and illusion of separateness. Yes, takes one heart to know a heart. So we got married out on the front porch.
I love that.
But this can be, antiquated thinking, it hides. And like you said, you went to that church for 2 years, and how good that love felt. But in between the lines of that love was what was getting you.
Yeah.
And that you said, how long? Unlearn. I think that's where many of us are.
About 2 years, and it's taken me like 8 years to deprogram from it.
Unlearning. Yes, Jesus is awesome. Love, that divine connection, that oneness, that God's so ingrained. You are healing people. So your best friend's dead. What'd you say? Lazarus, you better come up out that grave, right? That is the power of love, the transformative, the healing, the resurrection, the miraculous. And if people talked about Jesus like that, girl, I'd be back in the church, okay? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But they don't talk about Jesus. They don't talk about Jesus.
The antiquated thinking, I know from myself, I have found, because I grew up thinking that I wasn't at all prejudiced. I wasn't at all whatever, but because we're raised in certain ways, and like, as we wake up, I'll speak for myself. As I woke up, I would start to realize that I did sense differences, and that there are none, but my brain told me there were. This is going to sound like out of left field, but even like, is this in the same conversation? Spirit saying, go for it. So like with me and nature, I am so connected with nature. I know in other lives, I've had farms and lots of animals, and I've been Native American. I am in one with nature, but I've been raised in the suburbs, and I continue to remain in the suburbs. So when I'm literally out in nature, I'm actually nervous. I don't really know. I'm like, do I touch this plant? Is that a poisonous thing? Is it going to bite me? Do I, and
yes.
So, those antiquated beliefs come in all kinds of forms. And a lot of it just has to do with the way that we grew up. And so we can just be aware. For me, awareness is key. Just being aware. If I have a thought sometimes like, oh, I think that's judgmental, or I don't think. If I know it is, it is. I'm like, okay, I had a judgmental thought. Okay, I'm aware, and then I just don't have to have that again, And it could be about, like, for me, like, weight was always a big thing in my family. You didn't want to be, the FAT word. Oh my God. And so I was like obsessed about food and weight for my whole life. And it was just crazy. I'm not like that anymore. But again, that's one of those beliefs that was in the back of my head. And I'm like, oh, but yet I would, when I had gained and gotten very heavy for a while, I hated myself. I did. It was intense self-loathing because anyway, so it's all back to antiquated beliefs that I feel come in all different forms, and usually they're passed on to us. But sometimes we can create, like when I walked into the church and allowed them to program me like a cult,
Indeed.
I went willingly.
But because your heart was touched. And that is the power of spirituality or even religion, to touch your heart. But they were also touching, they go to your spheres and where you feel weak and those sorts of things. I see thoughts come into my mind. Do you know of Anita Moorjani?
Oh, I love Anita Moorjani.
Yeah. Her whole story about, isn't her book called Dying to Live?
Dying to be me.
Dying to be me. Ren just reminded me of sort of what you shared about once you got away and then all the toxicness was still in your body. And so here it manifests in this way. And you have an amazing story of how you were able to release that and walk into your healing. But that, how many people aren't aware like you were? And so that antiquated thing, one of the things about living here in the South, I told my wife yesterday, I'm like, look, I'm like, I need vegetables. I went to the store and I got a mixed thing of broccoli and cauliflower, and we got some Paul Newman pizza, and I love Paul Newman pizza. I love Paul Newman. I'm like, but bring me a salad. Like, here, people have diabetes and chronic heart failure and all sorts of things. And I'm telling you, even at the cafeteria in the hospital where we work, they can serve a meal without one green thing.
Really?
And let me tell you what lettuce they love here. Everybody get ready. Iceberg. I was like, this. So like sometimes we just have to take our own salad. Or most of the time, or when they have spinach there, I'm like, just fill this container up with spinach. I don't want anything else from the salad bar. Yeah. Antiquated thinking. So a lady said to me, oh, all they have is that spinach salad. Spinach. I said, oh my God, spinach salad is great. Not just all spinach. I'm like, huh? Right? How can that be bad? So again, but if you don't know about your health, what you were taught.
Right. It's true. And some of the things that we were taught, like the food pyramid and all that, that's not even true at all.
Look at what was the thing? You said the food pyramid, but I think in the ancient days, it was it was like 4 things, the 4 food groups. And, it was the 4 food groups were like milk and cheese, beef, and some other products made by cows. And then at the bottom, I wish we'd paid attention, it was like sponsored by the Dairy Farmers of America,
That's exactly what it is. It's all about marketing. I want to address this. Tammy is saying, may I ask you a question? Is my Yeshua same as Lucifer, bringer of light? Both we shamed our hearts enough, my loves. I have to confess, I don't believe in the devil in that way. I believe that everything is energy. And I believe even the Christ consciousness is energy. It's high energy. And then there's lower energy. So I don't identify, so I can't personally address that. Do you have another response?
Well, this is what she's addressing is, so first of all, the devil that is used to scare us is not even in the Bible. So you have to begin with that. That even Job, who has this interaction with the Satan, who says, well, God, says, that is the adversary, that this is a person whose job is to really say, are you really about what you're about? You love God so much, let's give you a couple hard times, right? So, but Lucifer is a high vibrating angel that was the bearer of light. And people oftentimes think of Lucifer because that's the name that they gave to the devil, but it's really not accurate. So I would say they're not the same person, but they're same high vibrating energies. The devil is more of a myth and a boogeyman again to scare you. Why do you need a boogeyman? Think about the love you felt and the love that I have felt in church. Why do you need a boogeyman to make you come there if you would just go with the love?
Yeah, I understand.
And then the devil with horns and all that stuff are more related to Greco-Roman gods, or to oftentimes, like, Loki from Thor, he has his little horns, right? People that scare you, that trick you. That's more what that represents, but it got all mishmashed in the Bible.
Interesting. I feel like there's a gap in my knowledge here, because honestly, I went from totally not being religious to being programmed to the Christian church to completely like extricating myself from that whole scenario. And so that's not really, but I what you're saying, the vibration of it resonates with me.
Yeah, again, like you said, these are labels, because these are about high vibration entities, and they have lived as examples. So if you believe in angels, high vibrating angels, you may say, okay, I believe in Metatron, and then Lucifer is that high vibrating angel, but you got to break with the ideas like, no, that's somebody spooky. And you have to go with where your heart is. So if that doesn't resonate with you, it does not. And if it does, great. But we're all talking about Yeshua, this high, Yeshua, Buddha, Kuan Yin, Shiva, and Ganesh. All of those entities are trying to teach us something about the divine and mirror that.
So
all of them.
When I call in the ascended masters, I call in all the ascended masters. I call in the angels, I call in all of the the guardian, the archangels, and I always I have this thing that before I go live or do readings or whatever, I call in my guides and the angels and the ascended masters and my galactic family and source energy, and then they come in one by one. It's the love energy that I felt, the Christ consciousness, right? From when I was in church. And also there was a group of people, like thousands of people in that particular church. There were 2,000 people in the sanctuary, not to mention other people outside or in the overflow room. The energy, I didn't know about energy back then, but now I recognize the energy and the power of all those people focused on the love and focused just there on love. I mean, that was what I fell in love with. And now, I sit for do trance healing, and I sit for trance mediumship, and we sit in a group. And the more we sit together and the more we're focused, I feel that. I recognize that feeling. And there's more going on too, because I'm connecting with the energy, and now I'm channeling. But I recognize that more, Spirit says more is better. If there's more of us and we're all focusing on somebody being healed or on the world being healed or a healthier place or whatever it is, on releasing antiquated beliefs, if we're all focused there, the energy, what is it that Abraham says? One person in alignment is more powerful than millions who are not.
Agree. And that's you're talking about that very Simon that a master teacher Jesus says, where two or more are gathered, I am in their midst. And that's what happens, that energy. And so the other ascended masters are also coming, and you are feeling that energy of oneness. And it's wonderful.
It is. It's very powerful. I feel like that's often, and I shouldn't speak for others, but I feel what I feel. So I feel, in my opinion here, is that a lot of people are drawn to the church for that feeling of oneness. They may not recognize what that is. And then a lot of times they may stay due to fear, or if you don't get saved, you're going to go to hell. And I better tell my mom, because if she doesn't get saved, then we won't be together. And oh my God, stuff like that.
Hilarious. That's the very thing that helped me draw my mom to the traditional church. I was so afraid of her going to hell.
Me too. But my mom, you know what? This is funny, it's coming up, but my mom was more accepting when I told her that I was gay than when I said I was Christian. I thought she was ready to disown me completely. I thought, I didn't expect that kind of severe, but that's what I got. Until one day she called me up and said, I had a dream. I saw Jesus. we didn't know at the time. I knew like toward the end of her life, I have a video on YouTube, how she saw a little girl and stuff. And she was a medium too, but she didn't know. Anyway, she had a dream and she saw Jesus. He came to her with open arms. And she said, I want to go to church with you. And she actually said to me, I don't want, wherever you go, I want to be there. At the time, we still weren't, most of our lives, we really butted heads. And I thought, oh, please stop. You're going to follow me to every life? My goodness. But, you know, she's laughing with me right now.
Yeah, but see, that's that daughter's love, wanting what's best for our mothers. And knowing that I'm sure your mom, like mine, or I'll know for sure my mom, worked hard and made a way out of no way sometimes, many a time. And you want them to have rest. You want them to have peace. And so that's a way to get drawn in, not knowing that all of us are going to step back into the peace that we came from, step back into that eternity. Mm-hmm. You know, because one of the things that part of this, especially for the African-American church, where there's that poor, you know, well, you may be broke down and poor today and you don't have nothing, but you know that Jesus is going to make a way. And when you die, okay, if Jesus can't do it for me now, why would I believe that after I die, right? Jesus, God, you call, it's like, well, again, part of that antiquated thinking is to turn your brain off. Why are you not thinking?
Yes.
There's some critical thinking.
Yes. And
right? Does this stuff make sense? Gail and we work at a hospital here, and the doctors are getting all mad because the nurses aren't having critical thinking. And I said to Gail, critical thinking is not widely accepted or wanted here in the South. Because when you critically look at one area of your life critically, you're going to start looking at something else. So if I look at here at work critically, I think, what's going on in my church? What's going on in my family? What's going on in this country? Critical thinking is not a value, I'll say, for most people here in the South, or has not been. Conformity is so important.
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
I said conformity is so important.
Yes.
In this area.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And it people don't like to go, and I feel like I'm talking about the way things were, because I really feel things are changing.
Yes, things are evolving. Really are. Look at what YouTube has done. It has given a capacity for people who used to hide, who were, we couldn't even talk to each other. Now here we are. Hey, pull out the tarot cards. Hey, I'm a light worker. Here we are. Yes,
here we are
flooding our energy everywhere. So we are bringing the light. People in this chat, the people in my chats, the people on YouTube that are talking about astrology, talking about the Christ consciousness, talking about Sophia. We are bringing the consciousness as Mother Gaia is also evolving. So yes, that's how things were. Let's look at them, and then yes, let's look at what we can do from this place to move forward.
Exactly.
I agree.
Exactly. I do. I feel very, very positive about where our world is, how we're in the age of Aquarius now. And I mean, astrologically, energetically, things are shifting. And there's still, the dark is still like coming up for one last gasp, which is what I feel
agree.
Like the war and the shootings and things like that. I feel like the darkness is like, that desperation. But
I agree. It's like an animal that's cornered and it's time, so it's coming out in like a vicious way.
We are decorated lighthouses. I love you.
Indeed. But yes, the dark knows its time is limited. And so it's coming, it's trying. And so, like you said, I was very upset about the shooting at the elementary school, especially when I realized that Newton and Sandy Hook were also elementary school. See, I didn't know that. And I had to let myself feel down, but I thought, all right, do something. Bring your light, love and light, and then get to writing, again, because I know there's a better day. I know that these children's lives weren't lost for nothing. And so I'm here. What can I do? Right? I can't get caught I got to move forward. So I had my weekend where I was laying low, and then I came back and said, I'm going to do something. And you can see people, Matthew McConaughey was like, people are saying enough is enough. And that is also what's happening with the light. We're saying to the dark, enough is enough. but it's a united voice, and it's a love-filled voice, and it's an empowered voice to understand. Again, like we've been talking about, let me change myself on the inside. Let me transform myself. Let me evolve myself. And then it's like a light. I take it, you and I touch, and we evolve. Me, you, and Aiden touch. We evolve. And now Kimmy touches, right? Now Lily touches. Now Tammy touches. Now Linda touches. And that's how we are spreading the light.
Yes. I love that. Oh, this is a great conversation. Linda is saying, bring love to the dark for healing. Yeah, I really want to also say, and I want to address what Tammy said too, but first I want to bring up, okay, I don't know if this is in the Bible this way, but I heard this in a church sermon, that light and dark cannot exist in the same place. And I was in a really dark place when I heard that message, and that's something I haven't talked about yet, and I may never. But anyway, I heard it, and I was in a really dark place, and I needed to hear that. So that has stuck with me. Sometimes you hear the right thing at the right time. Of course, that's intentional with spirit. And then you just, okay. So I know if that's true, and I accept that as my truth, and I do, that if I'm holding the light, that darkness can't exist right here. And so that's how I, like Aiden talks about the lighthouses. This is what spirit showed me for myself in the very beginning of my journey. They're showing me a lighthouse, how the lighthouse doesn't reach out and move the boats around. It's not controlling the, things. It's standing in one place and just shining. It's a beacon. Like this is, and illuminating. That's what it is. Yeah. And so I do my best to, to be a beacon, to be a vessel for spirit. And, hopefully spirit, that spirit uses me as a beacon for other people so that they find spirit, not necessarily me, but if they find me, great. Because I love when you guys are here, I get to do what I love, but it's about finding.
Not hopefully the spirit does use you and you are illuminating, and spirit works through people. People pray, oh, God bless, this old story. This town was getting flooded, and the neighbor said, hey, you want to drive out with us? He said, oh no, God's going to save me. So then the water got a little bit higher, and somebody came by in a rowboat, said, hey, come on, get on the boat. No, God's going to save me. They said, okay. So then a person came by in like a yacht-like boat where they were driving in, said, hey, the water is really getting high. Do you want to come out with us? Say, no, God is going to save me. So now they're on the roof, and a helicopter comes down. It says, hey, we can get you off the roof. No, God's going to save me. So then the person dies. And they meet God, and they go, why didn't you save me? God says, I sent the boat and the helicopter, right? That God works through people because you are God. I am God. It is the God in us. So when people say, oh my Lord, I love me some Meagan Michael, what they're saying is, I love me some God too.
That's true.
So yes, let them see you. Spirit in you.
I couldn't stand it. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm listening to you preach, and I'm like, yeah. Hallelujah. Thank you. And for that confirmation. And I feel like sometimes I do feel like, and I recognize the feeling inside me when I kind of like try to dim my light to make less of myself, because I'm not, but I also recognize, because of the way I feel when I do it, I recognize that it's not for my greatest and highest good, I don't know. It's part of the process.
Indeed. We're all on a journey.
We are too. We are. And Tammy says, draw your story. Do you mean like draw it? Because I said that was part of my story that I wouldn't talk about maybe ever. I might one day, but draw it. And I think that's quite an interesting concept. If you mean like draw it on, just so I could get it out of me or something like that. I think I've released it already. In fact, once upon a time, I actually had that story on my YouTube channel. And then when I shifted gears and woke up, I removed it. So, but it was actually, my whole life story was public for a while because I was using YouTube as therapy. I was sharing. I was drawn to share for myself. And well, my intention at the time was to help other people. But I recognized as I was doing it that it was extremely cathartic for me. And so as I was, releasing all this stuff, like, oh my God, my mother was my first narcissist, and went through all those things. So that's what my channel was about. And most of the views, on it, are from the original. I shouldn't say that now, because now that's not true. But it was true for a while, because I started the channel in 2015.
Now, remind everyone that's watching, or when they watch later, please hit the thumbs up button. I don't know what it does, but it helps with the algorithm somehow. So please hit the thumbs up button, and especially you guys who watch it on the playback.
Thank you. Yes, that's absolutely true. It helps. I don't know how to understand it fully.
Yeah,
Either.
it's like,
It helps
okay, I don't get it.
more people see the content because YouTube will show it to more people if more people interact with our video. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. I wasn't quite sure how it went.
I think that's what they say.
That's you. That's what them told me. Now we've been talking for an hour. Are we gonna pull some cards? You want to do
Would you
some
like to? Do you have time?
I have some time.
Okay. All right. We're going to pull some cards, guys. All righty. So how would you like to do this? Should we ask if people want a reading or see who we're drawn to, or I'm just pulling out my cards?
However I know you have a process. I'm going to honor that.
I did. Well, yes, sometimes I do, but because this is our first time working together, I kind of normally I'll usually do well, it doesn't matter. We're going to do whatever we want to do because this is our show right now.
That's right.
So how about if you would like a reading? Okay, so there's a PayPal link in the comments. No, not in because I didn't pin anything. If you're drawn to donate and you do donate, we'll put you first on the list. But we're also going to do free readings today. Does that resonate with you, Manassa?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so whoever we're drawn to, and let's just do that. Let's just flow with it. She goes, "Love you, Sistarians." That's cool. I like that. There's one thing I wanted to. Although that'll start. I want to talk about this, but I can't do it now because it'll create a whole other beautiful conversation. But I just want to say that I honor you, and I feel like you're very super sensitive and in other ways. Like our bodies make up for.
You're talking about Tammy?
Yeah, exactly. She said, I don't hear much. I hear spirit deaf in my physical ears. However, I hear vibrational light. And I feel like you probably do in a way that most people don't, unless they're practiced at it. Does that resonate?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's very true. That yes. And she's probably, even if she was hearing, she would hear spirit more because that's her connection.
Good point. Yeah. Well said. Hey, C, how's your tarot journey going? Have you been watching some tarot videos? Have you felt drawn to invest in a deck? I actually bought another Oracle deck recently, but it's not here yet. It's but I do. Aiden says I would love a reading. I think we can do that.
That would be great.
I didn't, and I don't know if I will or I won't, but I might.
Well, we need to get on the phone and talk about how you feel about tarot because you definitely have the systematic way of breaking things down to where the tarot would work for you. And I think a simple, tarot is more simple than people. I got to memorize all 78. No, you just got to understand how the 4 suits work. And the major arcana, which basically tell you the story themselves, because it is a story, right? And then that it's simple. It's a very simple way to break it down.
I'm interested. I feel like with Oracle cards, the majority of people may not understand the tarot cards, but when I pull a card and it says truth, then they get that, but at the same time, I am at a point in my journey where I would love to hear more about it from you. And I would do that. I would like to learn more.
Yeah. And then, I have a podcast, the first 6 or 7 episodes, I go through the tarot deck and tell you how to break it down. Very simple.
Check it out. Let everybody know what we can do. But you can let everybody know right now, where can they find your podcast?
So my podcast, if you have Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can find it there. Or the link is probably somewhere, but yeah, Spotify. I'm on Spotify. You can just look up Tarot Living with Manassa and you'll find it there. And same with Apple.
Tarot Living with Manassa.
Right.
All right, cool. I know I didn't realize you had a podcast. And so I have your YouTube link in the comments, but I did not put the podcast link in.
No, that's okay.
If anybody else wants to drop that in the comments now, like Aiden. Oh, but don't go away, Aiden, because you're about to get.
Yeah, Aiden, we're getting ready to give you a reading. So Aiden, I'm going to read with these are my Spirit Song Tarot.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Correct. So also you got to find a deck that you like. So if you don't like the traditional tarot, a lot of people don't like it. You can find, so this
Rider Waite.
Like I'll just show you an example. See, it has animals.
Oh, I love this one.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing is it also helps you cheat because it'll say beauty and abundance, and it's the Empress, right? So that's very true.
You're right. It makes perfect sense because the way that I only own a handful of oracle card decks because I have to only buy the ones that I'm really drawn to. Because
Correct,
I
correct.
use them, Spirit uses them through me as an extension of my. Like I'm reading and then I pull a card and that card comes in the middle of a conversation. Like in my private readings too, my hands are doing one thing and I'm doing another. And then when it's time, I'll be like, and this is your card 8 because it is, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, but this is all there. This is exciting. Oh, I love that.
So now tell me, so
That's
how
like
many
it's
cards are we pulling for the readings? Because I was on a show one time and the lady pulled one card and I was pulling like 5 and 7 cards. So I want to make sure I'm in alignment with what you're doing.
Whatever you feel drawn to do. We'll go that way. A couple of cards?
Yeah, okay, a couple.
Yeah.
I'll do 1 or 2.
Well, because we'll be able to read for more people if we
do less cards.
If we do less cards, right? I mean, if somebody donates, that's something else. But if to get more people to be able to, yeah.
All right.
That sounds good. I feel I must sound quite indecisive right now, but I'm just flowing. Happy to be here, going with the flow. You could add a tarot deck to your Amazon wish list so you could play around with it. That's a good idea. I forgot about my Amazon wish list. Good idea. Or I could just buy it for myself, but I could do that too. I like that idea. Okay, going back to Aiden.
All right.
Yep. All right. Should I start or do you want to start?
Okay, I'll start. So I pulled 2 cards for Aiden. The first one is the 3 of Feathers.
Ooh.
The little butterfly. I think this is a moth. Release and recovery. And then the Ace of Crystals. And this is manifestation and prosperity. And so the 3 of Feathers, this, Aiden, you're such a sweetie. And this, the 3 of Feathers, which is also the 3 of Swords, is a card about a broken heart. But what I love about this deck is this is about release and recovery. I saw your post when you got home. You were in Texas. My family thinks that tarot is evil. And you know what? Let them talk about antiquated thinking, right? Let them have that, but release what's in your heart and let that recovery come, because what is waiting for you is the Ace of Crystals, which is the Ace of Pentacles. And this is a new form of abundance, a new way to expand and grow yourself. And so let love go over those wounds and then open your arms wide to a new way of prosperity and abundance.
I love that. And the cards that I got for you, Aiden, are in alignment with what Manassa has. You got the Curiosity card, where it says worth the risk. And then Spring Equinox, rebirth. It's the same message. It's like, you're follow your curiosity. Do what you're, do you, as they say, because you really are going through a rebirth right now. You really are going through, and I love it because you said the butterfly, and there's a butterfly right here.
Yeah, mine had a moth and butterfly.
Right. This is one of my favorite cards. So I love that. This is going through a beautiful rebirth, and you are evolving as a soul, as a spiritual being, as a light worker. And I do feel always for you, Aiden, that you are a very old soul, which doesn't surprise anybody that knows you. But you are remembering. You're going through the remembering. So I feel like for you, more than learning, I feel like some of the technical aspects, you're learning things right now. And that's fun for you. You're playing with the tarot and stuff, but you're remembering who you are and why you came here. And I just feel very, very positive about your journey. And I really also want to say that I've told you from the beginning that your YouTube channel is going to be awesome. Not because it's just because of you, because you are really drawn to do that. And you're really naturally great at it. And I'm really excited for you. I saw your just like the one day after you had done a live with Lisa, I believe her name is, and he had 1,100 views on that video. I'm like, and he went from like 265 subscribers to like over 765 just in that one. I don't know, now it must be way over that, but that was just the next morning. I'm like, this is it. It's happening. This is happening. So I'm just really excited for you. Just keep being Trixie, please, honey. Sorry, my cat. Just keep being you. Don't lose yourself. You're finding yourself. That's what it is.
Indeed.
Keep finding yourself.
Indeed.
So thank you. That was fun. So Trix, I love my cat. I love her so very much, and she's such a pain in my tushy sometimes. She just lays herself down, pushes everything off. Keyboard's on the ground. I had to move it over so she can lay down. She's like my familiar. That's my soul cat there. All right, who's next? Who would like a reading? Oh, it was Kirsten? Okay. Okay. I apologize. It was Kirsten. And thank you. You're very welcome. Okay. Oh, that's right. It was, but Lisa's, oh, I like her too. But yeah, you're right. I remember that. Okay, so who would like a card now? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Forever be peaceful.
I think you had someone, Susan something maybe? I thought you had.
Stephanie?
Stephanie, there you go.
There we go. Hi, Stephanie. Welcome to my channel. I'm
Indeed,
so glad
welcome.
you're here. And yes, you may get a reading. Are you still here, my dear? Yes. She's here. Okay, good. It's way more fun to read for you when you're actually here. So we're glad you are. Would you like to begin again?
No, I just pulled my card, so you go.
I'll go. All right. I actually have Spirit. Which one is it? The one in my right hand. Okay, so interesting. Okay, so we're looking at equilibrium, finding your balance. These are my Cosmic Cat Wisdom cards. They're my newest ones until the other deck gets here. And then this one over here. Hold on. Actually, it just came out with 3, so you get what you get. All right, so equilibrium, find your balance. Trixie, please, she's helping me. Reflection, get out of your box. Oh, I love this reading. And surprise, oh my gosh. That's too cute. Oh, I love that. So you're okay, hang on a second. Let me quiet my mind. They're talking about thinking outside the box, talking about releasing antiquated thinking. They're talking about stepping outside the box, right? Stepping out. And you can see this cat is like gazing out. He's in the box, but he's looking outward. He's gazing outward and he sees what is beyond and the potential. And I do feel like you have some deep-seated, deep-rooted, old-fashioned beliefs within you. I feel maybe like a lot of religious programming. And I call it programming with no disrespect. It's just how we anyway, moving forward. So I feel like you're being surprised. And if you allow yourself to embrace all the new awareness that you are manifesting or becoming aware of at this point, you're going to find your joy. And they're talking about find your balance, find your equilibrium. So you don't have to like kick out all the old programming today and then start something new and be like, oh my God, where am I? It's not like that. It's not like, this isn't a phase of shock. It's like, awe and delight. That's how I'm reading it for you. Awe and delight. Find your balance, find your equilibrium. You can release like one old limiting belief at a time, or one a year. Just do it your way. You be you, and then just allow yourself to evolve because you really are in a beautiful place right now. So thank you.
And my cards are right on target with you. So this one is here we go, the Magician.
Beautiful.
And this is about willpower and creation. And then the next card is the 3 of Crystals.
Ooh, I love that.
And this is collaboration, productivity. And so again, that whole thing about you are in the driver's seat now. So those old limiting beliefs used to run the show. Now it's the time to release them. And one of the ways to do that is to collaborate. Now, part of walking on our new journey isn't about being by ourselves. There are people who can help you. There are people who, just like Meagan and I talk, I did that. That's right. Because our journeys have been similar. So we can come together and create an amazing transformation and bring, it's not, well, just happened to her. No, it happened to all of us. Okay. It happened to her and I, we are one. And so again, this is your capacity to reach out, to connect, and put yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what the Magician means. You have all you need.
I love that. It was beautiful. And I love those cards.
Yes. Aiden, I think we might get her.
Yeah, I think I've gotten, yeah.
That's the thing. You gotta, Spirit Song is if I have a client and I know their reading is going to be kind of challenging, I will pick this deck because it's gentle.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, the thing Spirit was bringing to my awareness about the tarot is, see, I connect with Spirit. I know you do too. But anyway, from speaking about myself, I connect with Spirit directly, and so they clarify things through me, usually without another card. But I know with the tarot, you can really get to the minutia, like I really feel like it gets very detailed, and I'm interested in that. I like the idea that I can physically see it that way and share it and experience it that way, as well as in my mind. Sometimes, being the human that I am, sometimes I may question, like, was that right? Is that, I'm still learning, right? Everybody's on a journey. And so if I pull this card and I'm like, there it is, confirmation, which you can use oracle cards for. Look at this card that I just pulled. Know your worth. That's literally for me right now, as I'm talking about this, know your worth. Yeah.
Very true. And sometimes it's really funny. One time I did a reading for someone, and the whole thing about the reading was that they were walking away from what was behind them, and they were going on a new path. And so they gave me all these cards, and I put it together, right? Because I'm also using my intuition, put the whole thing together. I gave her the spiel, and I said, hang on. I turned to her guys. I'm like, you guys could have used the 6 of Swords or the 8 of Cups, right? Let me tell y'all, you could have made this whole reading so much easier. Because they're showing me images, and because just like you, spirits connected it all together. I'm like, y'all could have gave me those 2 simple cards. And they're like, no, you're gonna work it out with the cards we gave you, because the message is the same.
Right.
It's just hilarious. It's like, y'all need to take a tarot reading class. No.
I love that. And it's interesting. One of my first videos I don't think it's live right now. I might have, it doesn't matter. Where I actually said, and this is a long time, this is 2015, when I said, that my life is something about my life being challenging, and that I always choose the hard way. Well, I don't believe that anymore. I don't verbalize that. I don't align with that thinking. I choose the easy way, but I do recognize in my personality sometimes that I do choose the hard way. And so I'm sure that's one of the reasons why I'm like, no, I don't need the tarot. You just tell me directly. I won't, because okay. But now, I've been doing this for enough years. We're like, okay, and now that'll be fun. So now I feel like I'm not leaning on it. I don't need them, obviously, but now it'll be a fun tool. And I love
it. That's right. They're just a source, an additional resource.
And I'm excited about it, which means I want to do it. If I'm feeling like, oh, I can't wait to get a tarot deck.
Yay.
That'll be super fun. And Tammy says, be back. I have to charge my phone. LOL. No wrong or right, love. Thank you so much for being here, Tammy. So what do you say? We pull another card, or do you have to go, or you have another time? No,
I think I'm good till what is it, 8:30? Do we have do a couple do until we hit 90 minutes?
Okay. All right. So we have about I keep my computer clock about 10 minutes fast. So I think we have about 10 minutes.
Yeah, we do. It looks like my daughter is wanting to get her reading. She said, I love some cards too.
Yes, let's do this. Hello, Lily. Welcome. Pleasure to meet you. Your mom is awesome.
This is one of Lily's favorite decks that I'm going to read from, the Mythical Goddess Tarot.
Ooh, okay. I want to see these.
So this tarot is all females. So she, I have a favorite deck of hers that I like for her to read from, which I can never remember the name. And she's always like, yeah, where's the deck? Where's the deck at? Where's that deck? I'm like, which one of the decks are you talking about? It's like, And then, it'll be this one. So I'll give her a reading. She likes this one.
Awesome.
And she loves cats. So you have that the deck with cats. She'd be thrilled.
Okay. We'll go with the cats. I also feel something from this deck too. So,
all right, do whatever you want. That's right. We're in the flow tonight.
Yes, we are. That's my favorite. Just go with the flow. To set a plan, like an outline, and instead of trying to micromanage some stuff. I used to have a very set, not very set. Well, yeah, it was kind of a set format when I interviewed a guest. Well, that had to be a little more planned, of who I'm interviewing, and I have to put I had to think. But anyway, here we are, and we're flowing, and that's where I am in my life right now, teaching myself how to just go with it. And we talked about that earlier. I don't know if it was our private chat or when we were live, that you're a Sun Virgo, when I was saying I've got 3 planets conjunct in Virgo. So that needing everything to be just right, the minutia and all that, I find myself, I do that with my art still, which is fine. But I'm letting go of needing to control how many people are watching, or actually there's things you can't control anyway, not directly.
Very true.
Energetically,
Very true. And one of the things I realize is that a lot of people watch on the replay.
That's true.
Because I don't know how what are we on? YouTube brings it to people's attention, and then they're like, oh, let me watch this. And then I'll be like, Oh, I had 7 people in the chat. Oh, but 75 people looked at this. Great. Because the light gets to them either way.
Yes, it does. And it's our energy too. And this is important. It's the energy that we're creating. It's the light, the space that we're holding. We're holding a space, and everybody here, and energy, it's a constant. So whether you're here watching in the now while we're live or now on the replay, it's all now.
True.
It's all now. And so we are creating this beautiful energy, holding space. And if our message reaches one ear or 1,000 ears, and then they're going to share with other people. And so it's the ripple effect. Like you drop a pebble in the water and it ripples out, eternally.
Very true. Very, very true.
Do you want to read for Lily first, or should I?
So the 2 cards that I got
okay. Okay.
Were the 2 of Seas, which is 2 beautiful dolphins.
How beautiful dolphins.
And then the moon card, which is Ixchel. She's an amazing Aztecian or Incan goddess, divine feminine that I work with. She's a healer, and she uses jaguar medicine. And so for Lily, I see this a combination of the 2 of Seas and Ixchel, the moon. This is about to continue diving deep and connecting with the goddess within. That as you are ready to step forward on your next journey, what the goddess has prepared for you will thrill your heart, and you will connect with yourself in an even newer and exciting way. And so for many of you who don't know, my daughter is leaving this country, and she's going to volunteer for the Peace Corps and teach English in South Africa for 2 years. And I just really feel those cards are letting her know what heaven, what spirit has in store for you is mighty. You will feel loved and always connected with your goddess.
Oh, I love this so much. I love this. And congratulations. And I'm very excited for you. Wow. I actually remember when I was 23, there was a war going on. Anyway, I wanted to join the Peace Corps then, and apparently you have to have a college education, which I didn't have, which was just another kick in another reminder to me at the time that, I can't do anything. I can't even volunteer myself. I'm not worthy, but I'm totally worthy. I'm excited for you that you're going there. That's really cool. And the cards that I got for you are confirming this. So it's worth the risk. They're saying it's worth the risk. You're going, you're curious. You want to know what it's like. You want to help people. You want to serve. And this is how you're doing it. And this is your own excitement for it, and your passion and enthusiasm for what it is that you're doing and how you're teaching and the people that you're going to be connecting with. It's so powerful. But they also want to remind you boundaries. And what it actually says, where do you need to establish better boundaries? Forget what they're saying. The card is boundaries. So they want you to remember yourself. Remember yourself. Take care of yourself first, because you're there. You're on a mission. It's the Peace Corps. You're there to help and give and serve, but you must take care of you first. Always fill your own cup first, and then then what you have to offer will be infinite. And I feel like some people will just take and take and take and take and take, and it isn't out of being unkind or greedy. It's that they want everything they can get from you, and you need to practice. I don't need, but it will serve you to practice boundary setting throughout your entire life. But I feel like the Peace Corps is going to be a very good time for you to learn to establish your self-care rituals and your excellent boundaries. So I'm really excited for you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Okay, one more. All right. Who is it? Who is it going to be? Sahita says, I'm in chat. Sorry, my aunt wanted to talk. Oh, that's okay. We're so glad you're here.
Indeed.
Liz saying, kitty, kitty, meow, but I'm allergic. Aw. Well, you might outgrow that. That could really happen. My brother, just a very short story. Okay, so I grew up and I had cats, not in childhood, but when I was an adult, I had cats and rabbits and ferrets, and my brother had dogs and birds, and always swore that he was allergic to cats and couldn't come over. Anyway, now he's got a house full of everything. So, and has for years. So I do believe that we can outgrow that. Just saying. All righty. So Linda says, beautiful discussions, messages of love and light. Enjoyed this so much, and the group. Thank you both for sharing your gifts. Have a wonderful evening. Warmest hugs. Did the thumbs up. Thank you. Love you, Linda.
Indeed.
Linda, are you still here? Would you like a card before you go? She might be gone, but give it a shot. Linda, if you're still here, oh, that was like 10 minutes ago. Well, but if you are still here, let us know. In the meantime, you pick a name.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you. Okay, so who is still here right now? Sahita's here. Oh, Kimmy's here.
Yeah. How
Hi,
Larry.
Kimmy.
I was thinking, what about Kimmy?
Kimmy, yeah. She,
All
you know,
right.
you were so quiet, which is not, you know, but there you are. And I'm so glad, of course.
All
Okay.
right. She'll be our last reading. 3 cards for Kimmy.
All right. 3 cards for Kimmy. I like that. That could be like a title of a book. 3 cards for Kimmy.
I think your cat thought that was a good idea too.
He did. He said, I want a card. I love you. Grandfather's here. Kimmy has a guide, a Native American guide, grandfather. Very strong energy. Okay. Oops. Literally 3 cards just jumped out. So that's 3 cards for Kimmy. Alrighty. And they're all animals. So these are the ones we're getting. All right. Sorry about the glare. Number 9. Brown bear spirit. Take time out.
Oh, my Lord.
Let's see. We have number 16, coyote spirit. Trust in divine detours. Oh, that's interesting. And number 3, number 33, love the number. Horse spirit. Freedom is yours. Oh, this is cool. Let me quiet mine for a moment. Okay, so spirit is saying pause. And that's my dog's name too, but no, the other kind of pause. To pause. that right now there's okay. So the brown bear spirit is saying take a time out. I like the feathers. Definitely grandfather's connected with this card right now. But to take a time out and pause, because I feel like you're heading in a new direction. That's what they're saying. Trust in divine detours. Trust in divine detours. So you're free to do. I'm just picking up the same cards and dropping them. You're free to do whatever it is that you want, but I do feel like you're being guided in different directions. They're saying misdirection, which is interesting. I don't know if the reference is going to make any sense. There used to be a Disney ride called Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Oh, my favorite.
Mine too. Oh my God. Okay. Well, so like you go forward and then it looks like you're going to crash into a wall. And then all of a sudden you're turned over here and you're like, ah, coming at me. Whoa, you're over here. I kind of feel like that for you right now. I feel like but not like scary, just there, that just trust in those divine detours and know that listen, the freedom is yours to choose whatever you want, to choose your path. That's interesting. Okay, whether I like it or not, there's another card coming up. And they're just reminding you that you're never alone. This is the otter spirit, number 42. That you're never alone. So trust those detours. Trust those detours. Trust your freedom and follow your greatest excitement, which I know you do, but they're letting you know. They're letting you know that detours is a big thing for you right now. And that's where your guidance is leading you. So it's open to your interpretation, but that's what I'm getting. So, Manassa.
So very similar. So I have the Page of Crystals.
Ooh.
And I don't know, it's like, is this a coyote or fox? Because you already had a coyote.
Looks like a fox. Like
because
a red
of the
fox.
tail, right?
Right.
But this is ideas and discipline. The 10 of feathers.
Beautiful.
And this is recovery and transformation. And then the moon, which is imagination and perception. And so I really feel that 10 of feathers, so this is about getting ready to go in a new direction. You know, the 10 of swords is a person that's been all the way stabbed through. But what I see that card is as your chakras getting into alignment. And when that happens, you move and groove in a new way. So your ideas are going to be changing. So let go of those old, grab onto those new, and then get the discipline, and then be ready again for there to be that transformation. This is the time for imagination. Think bigger, think wider, think crazy. I did a sermon about impossible thinking, and most people say, impossible thinking isn't good, but let's change that around, and thinking about the impossible makes room for the impossible.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love that. Kimmy's saying that's grandfather that bear, which is exactly what I felt. And yes, going in different directions. And now she's responding and saying, yes, exactly, new directions. I also want to point out that Kimmy just got some owl feathers from Bonnie, and you pulled the feathers and the owl back to back.
Okay, very good.
So that was beautiful.
I know I said one. Can we? How about we just do a reading for Justin's mom if she wants one?
Absolutely. Sahita, would you like a reading?
Because I see her on other channels, and I didn't know who she was, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. If she's friends with Meagan, she's friends with me. Hey.
Sahita, would you like a reading, my dear? I'm looking for which card deck I'm looking for. This one. Yes, please. Excellent.
And
that was a cool reading for you, Kimmy. These are fun. This is fun. I knew reading with you would be fun. Chatting with you is fun. This whole live stream is fun. And all of you guys being here, that's fun. Yeah.
That's right. And then remember, we're going to be together, if it still works with your calendar, in July, right?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, what is the date? Oh, I'm excited about that. We're going to be on your channel.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see the date I have. It's not written down. Yes, it certainly is. 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Manassa's channel on Saturday the 2nd.
Yes.
Yay! I am already there. Hi, Melanie J. Long. How are you? Yes, we are finishing up, my dear. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. Oh, look at that change. We have five hearts and 5 views on the channel on the thing right now, which is 5-5. I'm seeing a lot of 5s lately too.
All right.
So for Justin's mom. Sahita. You're saying something about a farmer's market? Farmer's market or a flea market. I see you like in an outdoor shopping venue. Let me know if that resonates, if that's something. She's saying, love you, Manassa. You read well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
But while you're shuffling, I'll share the cards that I got. So this is from my divine feminine, my mythical goddess girl. And I got the card for Kuan Yin, who is the Empress.
I love Kuan Yin.
And then I have White Buffalo Calf Woman, and this is Sacred Fire, card 11.
Ooh.
And so 2 major arcana cards and 2 very powerful divine feminine. And so this Kuan Yin being the compassion and the grace. And there's really that invitation to bring that to yourself. And then to really take time in your sacred space. What I feel both of these women are calling you to is that you know how to give and share and love, and they're asking you to bring that back to yourself and to really, even if it's 1 or 2 minutes in a day, to take that time to sit and be with yourself in that sacred space where the grace you need, the rest you need, the empowerment you need, the connection you need will fuel and refuel you and get you started moving forward on the journey that will be unfolding very soon.
I love that. It was beautiful. And interestingly, you're talking about the divine feminine. I was drawn to the Work Your Light Oracle cards, which always have a very feminine feel. And the colors, which actually, interestingly, those are the colors I chose for our live stream today as well. Just, I didn't choose them, Spirit did. So I'm getting the ever unfolding rose. Cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. And trust your path. I have to turn it around to read it. It says, if you knew you would be supported, what would you do?
Yes.
Totally in alignment with Manassa's reading. You are being guided. You are being divinely guided. And their spirit is reminding you that you are an ever unfolding rose. It's funny, a lot of people, you like talk about the onion and the peeling of the onion, but I like the rose better. It's just the same concept though. So imagine that you are flowering, you are blooming more and more every day. You continue to expand exponentially. And here your path is, interestingly, it's not just one path. There's infinite paths laid out in front of you and behind you. And you can go any way that you want, but your guidance is your internal, your emotions are your internal GPS system. So you're going to find that if you follow your greatest joy, if you're following your internal wisdom, that you will know, and you do. You have these beautiful goddesses, and ascended masters, and all this beautiful energy. Not leading you. They don't lead. They guide. They inspire. They beckon. They call you forth. And sometimes they'll nudge you to the side if they don't want you to go that way, and you seem to be going that way. So you might get a little nudge. Just know it's all being divinely guided. And this is beautiful. I love it. You're welcome. She goes, truly resonates with you. Thank you. Thank you. Hope that resonates. Yes, it does. This was fun.
It was a blast.
I love this. Thank you so much for being here with me.
Of course.
This is awesome. Why does this deck feel so light all of a sudden? Maybe because I'm used to holding the cat cards, which are quite heavy. But anyway, thank you again, Manassa, for joining. And let everybody know where they can find you and to subscribe to your YouTube channel, which the link is in the comments below. And what days do you have certain shows that you want to tell everybody about?
So I'm at Tarot Living with Manassa on YouTube. On the first and third Saturday, I do my Tarot Talk with Manassa, the Diva of Divination. I have guests at excuse me.
God bless you.
We end up doing this. We all have our cards. We end up having this long chat because there's just so much love to share. And it's like we're connecting with our sisters from previous lives and previous incarnations and our brothers and our family. And so that's what I do. And then Monday through Friday, I do what's called Mornings with Manassa. And I do an inspirational reading. And then I use a tarot oracle card that goes with that reading. And it's very funny, I'll pick them randomly, and then by Friday, I'll be like, oh my God, did you see how all these cards went together? Or did you see how these stories went together? It's just, it's between 3 and 5 minutes to, again, help get your day started. You can listen to it when you get to work. You can see when you're at home. I have friends that are in Great Britain, of course, that see it after the fact, but they use it as the start of their next day. So it's just a 5-minute devotion every morning. Now it comes on at 6:30, but you can look at it at any time.
I love that. I'm looking forward to listening to your podcast myself.
Thank you,
and I'm excited to be your guest on July 2nd at 12 Eastern Standard Time.
That's right, 11 Central.
And we will see you guys soon. Thank you all for being here. I love you all. You are amazing. You're fabulous. You are loved and appreciated. And thank you very much. She said, Sayida says, I just subscribed at the beginning of the show and we'll check you, Manassa.
Thank you, ma'am.
And hola, Alonso. Buenas noches. Thank you, everybody. We love you.
Buenas noches.